Welcome, survivors. The time has come. We are about to lose old Gwent, and I'll try and back it up, but we're about to lose it. Don't get emotional now. We're getting Homecoming, and it's hopefully going to be a new era if we're lucky. And I really wanted to go over just some of the memorable moments that we've had for the last 2 years. It's been quite a long time. 2 years is a while, and some of them have been very good, positive experiences, some of them negative ones, but I'm glad to have had all of them, basically. You know, I'm glad to have been here for the 2 years of Gwent. I made some good friends, had some excellent experiences, so I wanted to go over some of the more memorable ones for me. So firstly, I just wanted to talk about how I got into Gwent, and it was really by happenstance, to be honest. My friend was playing through The Witcher 3. I hadn't touched any of them. I didn't even know about them. And he called me over to his house and said, there's a really cool card game in this game that I'm playing. Why don't you come and have a look? And so I did. It was quite late into its development, I think. I think all three expansions were out. All expansions were out, anyway. But yeah, I really liked it. And so I went home, printed all the cards out, laminated them, cut them out by hand. 2 decks, in fact, one for my friend. And then we started playing some real Gwent matches, and they were a lot of fun. Really liked speculating and trying to beat him. He always played Nilfgaard and Northern Realms, the scumbag, but it was a lot of fun. We actually had a provision system because we could change the rules how we saw fit, and we used like a kind of a provision system where the strength of a card would be added and you could only have like 100 points and you couldn't go over it. So it stopped you playing all the strongest cards. It wasn't the best system because some of the Nilfgaard cards were like 0 strength, but they resurrect something. And so they didn't actually count. But it was a really, really fun experience, and I'm glad he got me into Gwent, to be honest. And then when we move on a little bit further, the next real big thing that I can remember that I really enjoyed, it was an era. After E3 had been announced, just after it had been announced, everyone was scrambling for information. What does this card do? What does this card do? We saw that picture, and we got several of these over the course of the 2 years. I mean, we were kind of doing it for Homecoming a bit as well, but after E3, we were scrambling for so much information, and what we ended up doing was implementing the cards and the systems and the mechanics into Tabletop Simulator. And then we were playing the new version of Gwent in Tabletop Simulator and trying to figure out some good decks and stuff. And it was just a weird era where the community was quite small on the Discord. It's the same Discord we use now, but everyone was a lot more friendly and everyone knew each other because there was only a few of us there. And I'd like to say thanks to those guys. A lot of them, I think, are still around. Some of them have left since, but it was a really interesting time to just theory craft, and I was doing my analytical videos, which I basically haven't stopped doing for 2 years, on every single piece of scrap of information, and I really enjoyed those times. So the next memorable moment was basically be one of the first Gwent developer streams. Not the first one, but it's the first one with Pavel and Luigi together. And it's such a weird experience to go back and watch it. Like, Pavel is very, less professional and more, you can just you'll see it when I show a little clip of it. And it was just a fun experience to get to see the developers talk to us, because from my experience, no other developers really did that at the time. I haven't had any experiences where a developer talked to its audience like that in any other game that I've played, really.
Hello and welcome to the Gwent live stream. We're playing the game post-patch. The patch introduced a lot of changes. It was released yesterday, patch 8.16. Can you tell us, I forgot to say, I'm Pavel,
yeah, exactly.
Yes. You're Michał Dobrowolski, aka Luigi. I thought you were Italian when I first met you.
Yeah, actually quite a lot of people think that's because of my nickname, but that's not true at all.
It's not true. It's not true.
So I think the general consensus is that KBT is a pretty cool guy. What do you think?
True at all.
It's not true. It's not true.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say nice analysis, KBT. What are your thoughts on that?
True at all.
It's not true. It's not true.
And so we move on to, there's been a lot of metas in the game, a lot of metas that people are very fond of. There was the poor flanking infantry with the Marjoram where you could buff them up. There was Buffered Up Roach. There was a lot of really cool, powerful abilities like Promoting Henselt, Gel Swarms, all these classic archetypes that everyone has fond memories over. I'm going to concentrate on one of the ones that is not fond, but it's something we remember fondly, but it wasn't a fond experience at the time, and that was Ithleen Double Tremors. This didn't last long, but it was something which really, it just sticks in my mind. I mean, all those are the ones stick in my mind, but I don't want to spend the entire time going through every single archetype that we have fond memories over. But Ithleen Double Tremors was one that, it was just a really annoying time, to be honest. So we move on to a personal experience that I have very fond memories on, and that is CD Projekt Red invited me to several particular events. We had the Nilfgaard preview event, which I was there, and we also had the Gwent Challenger #1. I feel very privileged to be able to have gone to these things, and Gwent Challenger #1 sticks in my mind more than any other one, even though they got better in all regards as it went on. They really pushed out the production value as they went on. But #1 sticks in my mind because, well, there are some other Gwent challenges that I didn't watch, or I didn't watch certain matches, whereas this one I was riveted all the way through. It was very much in its infancy, and it was the first thing they did, and I was there, so I guess that helps. But I really, again, I'm very privileged that CD Projekt Red had even considered to invite me, and I hadn't experienced anything like that before in my entire life, that a company or anybody had really thought about me and wanted me to be somewhere like that. So I do regard Challenge #1 as a very fond moment in my life, and I really enjoyed it. So another personal experience that is quite memorable to me was something CD Projekt Red allowed me to do, and that is reveal cards exclusively. I was able to reveal Renew as well as Becca's Twisted Mirror, and I really hope CD Projekt Red go back to that sort of method of revealing certain things when Homecoming is nice and stable, of course. But I really like the air of excitement and buzz and stuff where they give content creators and streamers and people in positions of effort or whatever, like forum mods and stuff like that, people that were trying to do things to aid Gwent's popularity or something like that. They gave them cards to reveal, and loads of people got these and were able to reveal them exclusively, and I just thought it was just a really nice gesture, and personally it gave me a lot of buzz and excitement, to be able to have something personally for myself that I would be able to share with everyone else, because that's what you want to do when you create content like this. You want to share things, and I really hope they do go back to that, because I enjoyed that, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it too. So I have fond memories of that as well. There were some things that I think I have fond memories on. I understand why they're not here now, but I still look back at some weird things that happened, some metas that just occurred and they were quickly changed. And one of the things I want to go back to was some of the faction passives that arrived. There were, I'd say most of them were quite crazy, and they all caused problems in one way or another, So we had an example here, which is monsters, and the fact that they could carry over any one random card, and this could be a gold card, and it didn't lose buffs, and it was just absurd. And we actually saw that in the Gwent Challenger, the way Life Coach utilized that particular passive. But we also saw Squirtle's faction passive being immensely disheartening. That was a crazy passive, and this actually is one of my worser moments. I'm glad to have experienced it, because it was it's a thing that just happens, But it's the fact that Squirtle could get so much card advantage over you, and they had traps, and the traps would make you have to play in a certain way. It's either play and lose, or you took a guess and you lost anyway, with a Kieran Toraville mix-up, and it was just a horrible experience. But this is a memorable experience, and I'm glad I had it. I wouldn't want it again, though. Please, thank you. But I'm glad it was there, and I'm glad I can talk about it. It was definitely something that sticks in my mind as an experience I had. So another thing that I'm quite fond of, and you may have known this, is modding. I mod quite a lot of the Gwent where I can. I've modded audio files, I've modded premium artworks, I've modded normal artworks, I've modded the board. You know, I mod whatever I can to add different flavor to it and give things to the community that maybe they want, like the audio mod. People wanted old voice lines back. And one of the things that sticks in my mind is modding all of the cards for several reasons. One of them is modding all the cards into Vran Warrior, and we had a Vran Warrior versus Vran Warrior deck, so everything was Vran Warrior. Only in looks, everything still had its normal values, but you didn't quite know what it was because it was all Vran Warrior. Another reason was modding it all so it was all Christmassy. My brother actually went through and drew Christmas-esque images over the existing cards, and I modded them into the game, and we had a Christmas themed game, and I really enjoyed this modding. Now technically modding is against the terms of use, you know, you're not allowed to change files, but I don't quite know what the stance is in that, because it doesn't change any gameplay sense. But I really enjoyed modding, and I'd love to keep doing it. You know, it gives you options to just have more fun, you know, make creative things that you can do. And these are definitely some memorable things that I enjoyed doing at the time. Now, personally, I used to play a lot with meme decks and meme cards, and we had the Pantheon of Gwent, which was basically every worst card in the game for that particular patch or season or whatever would go into the Pantheon, and we had quite a few. And these are always cards which I really enjoyed using, and I have a fond memory of these. Champion of Champion, it would strengthen by 2 if it was the only unit on a row. It was garbage, but when you got it to work, it was amazing, and I really enjoyed using it. There was also Skjarl, but when you actually did something creative with him, it was impressive, you know? And we also had the Frightener. Now, this Frightener would, every, I think, 2 turns or 3 turns, consume a special card from your graveyard and boost by like 4 or something. Kind of crappy, but I figured out a really cool trick with it, which is even if there weren't any special cards in there, it would still count the consume. So the Neckers would still buff. And so you had like Frighteners that go off every other turn, and the Neckers would just be increasing in strength, even if they didn't eat anything. And it was a really just fun experience to try all these individual crappy cards. But they were just memorable, you know, because they were so crap. And then I started to become attached to them, which is why I really love Vran Warrior, and why I really love Champion of Champion, and why I really love the Frightener, and why I really love Skjarl and the Wild Boar of the meme. They just stick in my head as memorable cards because of how bad they were, but you try and use them, and when they do work, you get a really cool experience. This is an experience where I think we could all relate to, and that is the overall feeling of the midwinter patch. Pre-midwinter, everyone was feeling pretty good and everyone was excited, and then they started coming out with all this weird stuff, right? Create, and even if you felt like, okay, all right, they're bringing out this create stuff, but they're bringing out 100 cards now, so they're just trying to fill up the collection. Here's some create cards, and they're just doing it. They don't plan to be, you know, competitive, but they're just trying to bring them out to fill up a collection, give you some choice, sure. But then they released the patch and went off for the holidays and decided, okay, we're off for holidays now. Enjoy this for the next month while Christmas is happening. And they just left us with it. And it turned out to be one of the worst things that happened. And it's just a unique thing to look back onto, isn't it? Now we're getting completely new game, a new era. Would Thronebreaker have done what it had done if this midwinter patch hadn't happened? You know, what would have happened if that had turned out to be quite good, or the create was really bad and it wouldn't have really shook up the whole game? You know, if the creates were really terrible as they had planned them to be, not competitive, what would have happened? Would we have just kept with that version of Gwent and not shook it up, and Thronebreaker would have come out a lot earlier, but it wouldn't have been as polished as it was? Would we have the 6th faction by now? You know, there's a lot of questions, but it's just a thing that's happened, and you've got to look back on it with nostalgic eyes in a way. And just, it's the thing that happened, and it happened, so it's an interesting one, that. So one of the other things that I remember quite fondly is Demoting Gold. This opened up a lot of freedom that we had. We could basically get a gold and demote it with Dimeritium Shackles, which allowed us to decoy it up into hand and then copy it with the operator, and basically opened up a lot of freedom for multiple uses of your gold. I don't think Renew was even in the game at this point, but you know, it allowed us to do several things. I remember having multiple Hjalmars on the board, which meant I got loads of Lords of Unvik, and when they died, each Lord of Unvik buffed every Hjalmar by like 10 points, so I had like 30 points there when they all died, and it was crazy. I also remember having 4 T-Bors in a normal game of Ranked by decoying, I think, Avalat Sage, which copied a gold card from the opponent's deck, and just replaying him loads, and I had 4 T-Bors, and it was like just a really cool thing that you could achieve. And I just really like that freedom of demoting golds. Now obviously we could promote bronzes and silvers, and that was its own meta with Hensel and the Poor Infantry and Roach, you know, and keeping the carryover Roach, and that was some really early stuff that I've kind of skipped over, but obviously I have fond memories of all those as well. So we're going to end the video there, and it's not just a video that's ending, an era is ending. We're losing Gwent, the Witcher card game. You know, we're going to have to say goodbye to it now. We are getting Gwent Homecoming, and hopefully that'll be a very prosperous, you know, era as well. But we are losing Gwent, and to be honest, we all survived, didn't we? Anyone that's watching this video has hopefully survived the 6-month drought of no content. You know, I'm not going to cry again. I do feel silly for that, but it was a difficult time for me at the time, and I'm glad to say that I have survived it. I'm ready to go with Homecoming to give it a really good go and see where we can go for it. Hopefully, you know, it works out for all of us, anyone that wants it to at least. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the other side, okay? Take care, everybody. Gosh. Didn't make a massive dent, although it was quite a big dent. It's 50... What was it? I think it was 50, 60, 70, 80 value, that silver.
Your vet will avenge us, Dwan!
Alright, it's alright. Gosh, easy. Easy.
Werecat dragged in.
Easy. Gosh.
Your vet!
Easy. Needed that 4 card advantage, but I mean, you know, card advantage doesn't matter, but I think 4 does. 4 definitely matters. We are going to play them all. It will teach him a lesson. It'll teach him a lesson in stacking too much. Anyway, and hopefully it'll teach him a lesson about this deck.
Your vet!
There you go. You got 4 units on the board now. Alright, we have to teach him a lesson. Siri. Alright, well, let's do that. Oh, that felt so good.
I shall do what I must.
The North shall tuck tail and beg for mercy.
A bit of bloodletting.
Where the fuck's my chain ending? I forgot. I have no idea where my chain is ending. Holy fucking shit!
Get up and take it away.
I can't quite remember my life. Pick up a card. I will pick up that. Alright, there's the chain. Alright. God damn, man. Still says 21, even though it's 28. Even though it says 5. What the fuck? Everything's wrong. Everything that could possibly be wrong is wrong. He's 28. It says 2 now. What the fuck is going on with this? Alright, sure.
See me smiling. I'm dead serious.
What's all this then? Hope he doesn't have Vandergrift. Oh my god, what the fuck? Yes! Oh my god. The god. That was amazing. He has to command his horn something, and I was the only thing there. Amazing. Okay, that was amazing.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Sorry. 27. How do? It's a really amazing card. I'm so happy when I saw it. Shit. Well, that's the end of that fun, isn't it? I still have fun in the game. I don't really have a massive community. You know, we got a decent family here, which is nice. But we, you know, did alright. Oh my god! Did you see that? Did you see that? Check and fucking mate, sir. Yes! Has he only got one voice line? Oh, there's one. I've got my RNG, man. A lot of things can beat me.
You do not deserve to live!
I mean, what am I supposed to do against this? How are you supposed to win against this? You know? It's literally impossible apart from Demoting Bomb, but these guys that go up to pitiful amounts, it wouldn't even affect him.
Any last words?
Just impossible to me.
Thousand thunder and sea devils!
Ragnarok!
How fucking delicious is that? Alright, here we go. Oh, he's only got a few. What's all that? Is that the weather? Alright, pretty happy about that. What are you doing? I couldn't win without doing it.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
Fight for the Emperor and you might be free! Back in line!
A highly curious case.
Alright, that'll do. I think I'm going to play that now. It's going to kill all my ones, but it will look amazing.
We enter the fray!
Where's the... Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice one. Hey, what? Oh, right. Okay. Good memes. To be honest, if you had somebody who's not famous and somebody who is famous, and their level of meme ship was the same, then they are the exact same person. Because it's not the meme that makes the man, it's the popularity of the man that makes the meme. What the fuck am I on about? Honestly, I don't even know. What? Yeah, well, let's have a look what we can do.